If you are someone struggling to take control of your life, I promise you this formula will change your life. There's 4 parts to this formula and every single part of them matters so much. So watch this video until the very end. Just to give a backstory, in February this year, I was at one of the lowest point of my life. I just broke up. I looked very, very unfit. I stopped going to the gym. I just dropped out of uni and my business wasn't doing very well at all. And I just, didn't feel like living in a way. If you know, I am someone that likes to take control of my life and stuff like that. So it got me really, really frustrated until I learned this formula. And I promise you, this formula will change your life as well. The first part of your formula is your intention or your niat. Okay? This is extremely, extremely important for you to succeed in anything. Trust me when I say this, last time I used to always set a goal with the intention that is based around ego or anger or whatever. Okay? I will always want to do something that is wrong. Whenever someone says that I cannot do something right, I will always want to prove them wrong. Okay? When I first set my goal of like about 10k per month, that kind of thing, right? My niat around it, right, was not because of like good things. It was literally because of my ego. Okay? And trust me, what I got there, right, it is not sustainable. You will burn out fast. You will be doing things not in a proper manner. Okay? So your intention is very, very important. It is not because it's driven by ego or pride or anger, but instead it's driven by something very, very good, something that is going to worship God and something that is basically aligned with the divine power of God. This is going to be very, very hard. I know you can say something, you can say that your intention is for this, but deep in your heart, your intention is for something else. Okay? We don't know it, I won't know it, but God knows it. Okay? And at the end of the day, all of the risk is coming from God. So you make sure that your intention is very, very pure. So that's number one, intention. Okay, once you have your intention right, the next part is basically certainty. Your risk is already written, right? Some people, including yourself, right, what they think of when they hear that, right, is that, oh, if my risk already written, then for what I do anything, right? Like I might not get a lot of money, that kind of thing. Bro, look at it this way. Okay, your risk is in the sky. We all know that saying also, right? Your risk is in the sky. Look how vast and how abundant the sky is. Look how endless the sky is. That is your risk, bro. Your risk is abundant. It's like never ending. Okay? And it's the world. It's the world, bro. You think God cares about the world? Not really, bro. Okay? Your risk is freaking abundant. Okay? So I want you to ensure that you get off the mindset of like, oh, I have a very small risk, or like, since my risk is already written, I think God give me like very small risk or whatever, right? Bro, look at the sky. Look at how abundant that is. Your risk is in the sky and your risk is already written. Okay? So with that saying of your risk is already written, right? I want you to focus on this. Okay? Your risk is already written. So what does that mean? That means that would you be fearful? Would you be chasing something that is already written for you, that is already meant for you? So there's this saying in the hadith, right, that says, if you were to rely upon Allah with the reliance He is due, He would provide for you like the birds going hungry in the morning and returning full. Okay, I just want you to think of that. Out of all of the living things in the world, right, us humans are the only one that are not certain with anything. Us humans are the only one that is always very worried. Okay, if you look at the birds, right, if you look at the pigeons, right, they will go out hungry in the morning. They don't know where they're gonna find their food or whatever, but they will have that certainty, they will have that trust in God, and then they will come back full. So what I want you to think about now, right, is I want you to be able to be absolutely certain that you can actually achieve whatever that you want to achieve. So let me just give you a personal example. So recently we started this Okami Plus community event, right, where it's a community for those taking control of their life, being physically fit, mentally disciplined, financially free, and spiritually connected. Okay, so recently we had this like event, this networking event, and also in the next few days we will have a run event. Bro, I know that when I created this Okami Plus community, right, my intention was, alhamdulillah, was very, very pure, or like it was aligned with God in a way. So my intention for this is always to provide a community for people, for the Muslim community in Singapore, to basically be able to grow and learn and whatever not. Okay, and spread knowledge, share knowledge, all that kind of thing. Okay, so that is my intention. Okay, so now that my intention is pure, right, in a way, right, the next thing is certainty. I was so certain that we would not have any issues with promoting it or with getting members to come and sign up. Okay, and bro, with the run, right, alhamdulillah, we have about like 40 people who sign up for a subuh run. Okay, and the run, right, you can see, right, there are a lot of run clubs in Singapore, right? There are a lot of run clubs in Singapore that do things for free, and some of them barely even have like about 10 to 20 people. Okay, I'm not trying to be real, I'm not trying to be like, oh, look at me, that kind of thing, right? Obviously not. But I just want to get this point across. We are charging a registration fee for the run, bro. Okay, but there's still, alhamdulillah, there's still 40 people who sign up for the run. Okay, so if you look at it, right, because I am so certain that God will provide us with the sign-ups and God will provide us with the people who gonna run. Okay, because I'm doing a right thing, right? I'm doing something that is beneficial to them. God will provide us with the sign-ups. And bro, we didn't even market it that hard, bro. We only did like 2 posts and it wasn't even like proper posts. Okay, and we still got about 40 sign-ups, alhamdulillah. Okay, so you need to be absolutely certain that you are able to do it. So we already have intention and certainty, right? The next thing is your actions. Some of you don't want to put the actions in. So no matter what goals you set, right, you will not be able to achieve it because you're not willing to put in the actions. Okay, there's no two ways about it. You have to put in the action to achieve something. I want you to look at it. Okay, some of you, alright, don't know what kind of actions to actually put into it. Okay, so let me break it down to you. Let's say, for example, you set a goal. You want to make 10K a month and you have to break down that goal. Okay, so let's say you are charging let's say you run a marketing agency, for example, right? And then you charge one client, you charge like 2K. Okay, for you to get to 10K a month, right, you need 5 clients to pay you 2K each month. Okay, so now, if you look at it, you just need to sign 5 clients. Okay, so that is your goal. Okay, so what kind of actions can you take to get to that goal? So let's say, for example, right, what that means is that every single month you need to make sure that you reach out to about 100 people. Okay, so if you look at it, right, if you break it down, right, then you know exactly what your day-to-day action is. That is what systems are. Okay, this is just a tip of the iceberg. Again, if you want me to break it down into a full video, comment down below and I will break it down into a full video. Okay, make sure that every single time you need to ensure that you actually do the action. So you have your intention, make sure that your intention is right, make sure that your intention is pure. Then after that, you have your certainty, make sure that you are very, very certain that you can actually provide or you can actually achieve what you want to achieve. You must always have a good intention. It's not about what you say, it's not about what you think you believe in, it's about your heart, really. Trust me. Okay? And then after that, the next thing is that you must take action, really, just be freaking ruthless with the actions, bro. Like, do it properly, do it with tenacity, do it with, actually do it lah. Okay, make sure that you actually do the actions. Okay, so I don't know how else to explain this, but other than you need to take the action. Okay, so now you have your intention, you have your certainty, you have your actions. The last part, right? This is again the most important part and is the hardest part for you to do and for me to do also. Is surrender. So what is surrender? Surrender is basically tawakkul. We all know that provision or risk is from God alone. The end of the day, although you set all of these intentions or whatever not, right? If it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you. And I know that is very, very difficult for you to process. It took me damn long to process also, by the way. Okay, but trust me, sometimes you really have to surrender. Okay, so how to put this into perspective, right? You have to detach from the outcome. Okay, which is why system building is very, very important. And that is how you actually set goals and actually achieve them because it's through systems. Okay, detach from the outcome. I know it's very, very difficult, but detach from outcome. How I do that, right? The easiest way for me to do that, right, is I will just control what I can control, which is basically the amount of effort I put in, but I will leave the outcome to God. Okay, so for example, let's say I'm on a sales call, I need to close the client, I will try my best to do the sales process, everything like that. By the end of the day, I will leave the results and the outcome to God. Okay, so even if let's say I don't close the client, I don't get upset about it, I don't get angry about it or whatever, I'll just be like, okay, it's not my rezeki, what can I do better next time? Okay, never mind, let's move on. Okay, when you do that, right, bro, trust me, there's no such thing as burnout, there's no such thing as you don't feel like it and stuff like that. Because everything that you do, right, will just naturally flow. Trust me, whenever you do that, right, it will not be difficult for you to take control of your life really. So again, if you are struggling with taking control of your life, this formula is very, very important. Okay, so just remember, intention times certainty times action times surrender. So if you find this video useful, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.